Only you give me beauty. Only you make my rhythm run. Only you make my heart when it's broken. Good evening, Fumex. Hi, good evening. Thank you for connecting. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Day 2 of Their Female Gender. And tonight we're talking about rise above your past. Their Female Gender. So kindly share this live. Share. We're live on 4 different platforms tonight. Share, either you're on YouTube, your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Please share. Awesome. You are welcome. Only you. I see you all, Emanuela, Ashante. Good evening. Thank you so much for connecting. You are very welcome. Rebirth. Hi, good evening. Twin, I see you all. Thank you for connecting. Welcome to day 2. Day 2 of Their Female Gender. Yes, we're still celebrating International Women's Day. And we are having these conversations, over the next few days about the things that are really important to us as women. And like I said yesterday, right, before you were formed in your mother's womb, God knew you. And he ordained you to be a prophet to the nation. And ordination there doesn't mean you are apostle or you are a pastor or you are a teacher or you are this. It simply means that he gave you your assignment. And your assignment is so important, right? So it's important for you to understand that beyond whatever it is that you may be experiencing or that you might have gone through, you have an assignment. One of the things I said yesterday over and over is that your past has not canceled your purpose. Your past has not canceled your purpose. Yes, you went through a negative past, but guess what? It has not canceled your purpose. And what do you need to do? All you need to do is to actually rise above your past. And so we are going to be just, getting into that this evening, talking about rising above your negative past. So share this link. I see you all. Thank you all for connecting. Share the link. Get people to connect with us as we have yet another interesting conversation tonight. And as you join in, I see you all for me, Rebirth, Kingsley, Ayo, Bernice, FM, Bola. Let me know where you are joining from. Let me know where you are joining from tonight. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for connecting. Thank you so much for connecting. Okay. Amazing. So yes, like I said, we're going to be looking at rising above our past. We started to say yesterday, one of the things I mentioned yesterday was that you must never get to a point where you are unable to make decisions today that will correct the mistakes of your past, right? And as the female gender, sometimes we because we are incubators, we carry things, we hold things on our inside. In the next couple of days or so, we will talk about the effect of holding negative emotions on your inside. I'm going to look at that. So Friday, Jaja connecting from Abuja. Thanks so much for being here. It's nice to have you here. Bernice, Tete, hi all. Thank you so much for connecting. So share the link, get, your friends, your families to connect with us this evening as we have this conversation about their gender. Rise above your past. Again, because your past has not cancelled your purpose. You have a unique purpose. God created you on purpose. I love to say that you were created on purpose for a purpose. And it's important that you discover that purpose and begin to walk in line with your purpose. Because that is the most important reason why you are here on this earth. And things may happen. Life may happen. You might go through emotional wounding. You might go through trauma. People might betray you. People might have hurt you. Things might have happened that would destabilize you and even cause you, right, to not to have the full picture of your purpose or to totally disengage from your purpose. That is a phase. There's another thing I love to say. Don't allow what happened to you, ED, past tense, in the past, to keep happening to you. Because the past, none of us can go back to the past to change anything. It's gone, it's in the past, right? But we have today, which is the present, and we have tomorrow. Tomorrow is a blank check. However, you cannot fully go into that tomorrow, that future, to fulfill your purpose if you do not rise above your past. You need to let go of the negativity of yesterday, of the pain of yesterday, of the betrayal of yesterday, of the abuse of yesterday. You need to let go of all of this and rise up and move into the future that God has ordained for you. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel. I'm popularly referred to as the Soul Doctor, and I'm committed to helping people heal, thrive, and fulfill their purpose. So yes, you're in the right place if you've been feeling that, I feel stuck, I feel I'm dragging, I feel slow, I feel something is not just quite right. We're going to be looking at that tonight. And like I said, tonight we're going to look at rising above that past, because the past, yesterday as well, we're talking about one of the major causes of stress, right? One of the major causes of stress for us as human beings. Man is a tripartite being. You have a spirit, you have a soul, you live in a body. One of the major causes of stress is trying to control the things that you have no control over. It's like, the other day my son was driving and I was in the passenger seat and we were approaching the traffic lights. And me, I react so quickly. So I was already pressing the brake, like, okay, we need to slow down. We're approaching and it was like, Mom, are you pressing the brake? I said, yes. He said, but you're not the one driving. I'm like, oops. But sometimes we do that. We forget that we are not the one driving the car and we are pressing invisible brake. And you see, whether the brake is real or not, it is the same energy that you use to press that brake. Meanwhile, that energy that you're using to press that brake is not producing anything, is wasted effort, because you are not the one driving the car. And so a lot of times we get agitated, we get stressed, we get, fatigued, because you see, some people that you will notice that. So we'll also talk about signs of emotional wounding and all of that. But one of the signs of emotional wounding is fatigue, constant fatigue. Even though you're not working, you're not doing it, just realize you wake up, you're tired. Why? Because your brain is working. Even when you are sleeping, you are worrying about your past. You are anxious about your future. You are still thinking, and and that's why some people have nightmares, because you sleep but you're not rested. And so so all of those stress, we keep just romancing the pain, romancing the stress. Listen, the past is actually for real in the past. I'm serious. Truth. The past, that past is in the past. Is in the past. And there is absolutely nothing you can do about what has happened in the past. The mistakes you made, what somebody did to you, it is in the past. You cannot do anything about it. So stop allowing it to control your present. And sometimes we even make decisions based on our future because of our past. So, for instance, some lady or some guy, since I'm talking to the female gender, some guy hurts you, right? Disappoints you, betrays you, lets you down in your past, and it really hurt you. And I'm not invalidating your experience or your pain or your emotions. One of the things I'm quick to tell you is that your feelings are valid, your emotions are valid. You don't invalidate them. I don't allow other people to invalidate them. So I'm not saying that your experience is not valid. In fact, let me quickly buttress that side and balance it. So your feelings are valid, your emotions are valid, but I'm quick to say, do not allow your emotions, right, to control your actions. That's the balance. Do not allow your emotions to control your actions. Somebody saying, how can someone forget the hurt in marriage, especially when it has a stigma? Okay, I would come back to that question for Mex. If you can please use the question icon to ask that question, okay, so that we can go on the flow, but I'll definitely take questions like we did yesterday as well. So kindly use the question icon, okay, to ask your questions, and then we'll be able, or I can also pin it, okay? But I might not be able to pin more than one question in case other people have questions they want to ask me. So I've pinned that one, so I'll remember to come back to it. Right, so your past is in the past. Don't allow what happened to you in the past to control today, right? So all of those emotions are valid. Feel them, because emotions are not supposed to be suppressed or repressed. Emotions are supposed to be expressed. So feel them, but don't allow them to control you. And I'm a person of faith, and you see, I will always refer to the Bible. The Bible says, be ye angry. That means it's okay for you to feel the emotion of anger. And then it says, but sin not. Meaning, don't allow that emotion of anger to now control your actions. That is why you need a safe space to be able to express those negative emotions that you may be feeling. But one of the things, like I was saying, is that the past, what happened to you in the past, is actually in your past, and you have no power to go back into your past and change anything. I'm sure that's a superpower a lot of us will want. I'll want it. I'll definitely want to go back into my past and make better decisions. But sadly, none of us have that. So what do I do with my past? Somebody's asking, Dr. J, what do I do with my past? You rise above it, sis. I'm talking to the female gender. Because you see, because we are incubators, because we have capacity to keep things on our inside. So you give a woman sperm, and the woman takes the sperm, she puts it inside her womb, and then she nurtures and carries it. And after 9 months, she gives you a baby. So we can keep things. And some of you know that ability we have to keep things can also be self-sabotaging. And yesterday I talked about unforgiveness. So you see, it's also very easy, especially women. Men are able to, quickly turn over their logical beings. Women were emotional beings. So somebody hurts you, and I'm not going to go over what we talked about yesterday. You can rewatch it on any of the platforms. Somebody hurts you, rather than you go to tell them that they've hurt you, and this is how it's making you feel, you keep it inside you. You say, I won't talk about it. It's not a big deal. But it's hurting you. Think about emotional hurt as physical hurts. It's the same thing, because you're a tripartite being. It's the same thing. So it is okay for you to express how you feel. Don't keep it on your inside, because as long as the more you keep it on your inside, the more you are damaging your own health. It is you. So when we say forgive is not about the other person. Oh, Dr. J, but he didn't ask me for forgiveness. He doesn't need to ask you for forgiveness. She doesn't need to ask you for forgiveness. It is you doing yourself a favor and saying, I'm exhaling. I'm letting it go. I'm not going to allow it to hurt me again. So let's look at 4 ways. So I'm going to talk about 4 ways to rise above our past. Remember what I said, what happened to you in the past, I'm not invalidating it. It happened, and it was a negative experience, so it might have caused some negative emotions inside of you, and that is okay. And I'm sorry that happened, right? But you must not allow what happened to you to keep happening to you. The first thing you need to do is to reconcile with your past. So if this was a one-on-one session or a group coaching, I will ask you to write down what happened to you. That's important. Because sometimes we are quite not accepting, right, of what happened to us. We don't accept what has happened to us. We sort of just put it somewhere at the back of our mind, telling ourselves, it didn't really happen. It's like somebody, God forbid, they're in an accident and their hand has been chopped off, amputated, and they are still telling themselves, I have two hands. I have two hands. No, it's okay. Don't worry. I've got two hands. It's called living in delusion. And you can be there for quite a while. And you see, there are 5 different stages when it comes to grieving. And grieving is not just when you lose somebody, right? When you lose anything, you grieve. The loss of a marriage, you grieve. The loss of a job, you grieve. The loss of a business, you grieve. The loss of a friendship, you grieve. You grieve when you lose something. The first stage is acceptance. Because it can be very difficult to accept that this thing has actually happened to me. So some people spend years on that level. Acceptance. They refuse to accept that. And I've been there. You get into a business deal, right? And you can see that I shouldn't have made this business investment, and you keep doing it. You stay there. You say, I'll just put more money. I'll just put more effort. I love what a wise person once said. If somebody shows you who they are the first time they show you their character, please believe them. Believe them. And women, especially those of us who are empaths, we like to make excuses for people's bad behavior. Somebody comes and they behave, character flaw, they hurt you, they treat you anyhow, they put you down, and you start to make excuses for them. The reason why they did that is because, in fact, you blame yourself for what they did to you. So somebody gave you I don't know whether there's a clean slap, but I don't know why we say dirty slap, because I don't think there is a clean slap. Yeah. But somebody gives you a slap. Nobody should slap you, because that's physical violence, physical abuse. And you are there saying, oh, it's not really their fault. It's me. It's because they were calling me and I didn't answer them on time. Or I didn't give them their food on time. It's not really their fault. If you really get to know them, if you really, really, I know lots of them, they're always angry. They're really not like that. They're actually very nice. Hello. Imagine you buying food. You go to a restaurant and you buy food and you get home and you open the bowl of food and you have some stench. And and then sometimes you call somebody, maybe it's my nose. Is that me? I say, I think this food is getting rotten, is bad. The smell is not good. Like, no. Do you know how much I spent on this food? Do you know what I did? What I did? No, I don't know. And then you put it in the freezer. I'll put it in the freezer. And then 3 days later, you bring it out and you microwave it. It should be fine by now. Excuse me, will it be fine? Will it be fine? Like, it's spoiled. Sis, the food is spoiled. Accept it and throw it away. I know it's going to be painful. I know. And I'm actually talking from experience. When you are planned for some food, but sadly, the food, maybe because you kept it too long or for whatever, right? The food got spoiled. And you don't want to accept that. My son did something the other day. So I bought, guys, I always come and I always tell you my secrets. Make sure you don't tell anybody my secrets, right? And so we bought this. Where I live in the UK, we don't have an African shop. So we went somewhere and we bought this big basket of the small peppers, right? And I thought I kept them well and all of that. And then he comes and says, Mom, most of those peppers are actually spoiled. I'm like, what? How can don't judge me, right? I'm just being honest. I was like, if I'm thinking about it, I'm like, really? You did that? God have mercy. And it He was like, Mom, look, they're rotting. They're all spoiled. They're getting spoiled. I was like, no. What? You don't know anything. You've not lived in Lagos before. This kind of pepper, they actually sell it. They call it Esa. I can't believe myself. And the boy was like, no, Mom. And he was telling me all the, scientific words and reasons that is this is called, it can cause that, it can cause that. I said, you don't know anything. Something that you will just watch, you will blend it. But I succumbed because he actually carried all of the things and threw it in the bin. And I was watching him, but I was like, oh, my dear peppers. Oh, they're going. But excuse me, Auntie, they are bad. They were bad. But you see, as weird as that sounds and feels, somebody say, I know, right? Honestly, it can be. Well, it's bad. The pepper is bad. Throw it away. And so you see, acceptance can be really difficult because you built a relationship. You know how to do that thing. So the past, this is the past you've known for years. And so accepting that thing that you probably invested in. For some of us, if it's a relationship, you've invested your emotions, you've invested a lot into it, finances, you've invested your emotional account credits, you've invested into it. So now accepting that is gone bad. It can be a tricky one. But the truth is, if you want to rise above your past and move into the great future that God has ordained for you, like I said at the beginning, you need to reconcile with your past. Right? You need to reconcile with your past. If you don't reconcile with your past, if you don't decide to rise above your past, you will be stagnated in life. You will be stagnated in life. Now, Leonard Sweet, let me read this to you. He says, what is the difference between a living thing and a dead thing? In the medical world, a clinical definition of death is a body that does not change. Change is life. Stagnation is death. If you don't change, you die. Is that simple? Is that scary? You need to rise. Dear female gender, you sat on this spot for too long. You know that this water is not moving, that this thing is not going anywhere. The same thing. See, one wise person said, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result is what? The first sign of insanity. And because somewhere in the back of our mind, we think, no, let me just think. Imagine a horse is dead. And you're saying, no, this horse, I believe in this horse. This horse really served me. Let me just bring more grass. Let me just sit with the horse. Let me even, not put another. The horse is dead, and I know it's hard. So I'm not excusing or I'm not trivializing the impact of that loss. There's a loss, and there will be a feeling of pain. And that's okay. But would you rather sit with a dead horse, right? Or move on and get a living dog? In fact, the Bible says a living dog is better than a dead lion. Let it go. Because if you don't, stagnation. And you know what happens with stagnant water? Those of you who live in areas where sometimes water will just stay. Stagnant water stinks. It smells. It causes repulsion, right? So a life that is staying on the same spot, not rising above the past, will repulse people. We are not designed or created to be stagnant. We are designed to be in motion. And I will not be able to go into the details of the 4 points. I'm just going to highlight them. But I'm picking points from my book, okay, Rise Above Your Past. If you don't have a copy, you can go to Amazon and get your own copy, Rise Above Your Past. And we also have some copies in Nigeria. If you like some, you can send us a message. Okay. To contact us, you can send an email to hello@Jola-Grace.com. hello@Jola-Grace.com. Also, one of the things that we talked about yesterday is, by the grace of God, I'm beginning to count down to the big 50 in November, and we're launching some initiatives, right, as we journey through the road to 50. And the first one that we've launched is called Flourishing 50. The Flourishing 50 initiative. Now, what is the Flourishing 50? It's a mentorship community for women who have been through domestic violence and abuse, and you are stuck. You've been through means you are out of it. But now you don't even know, okay, do I turn to the right? Do I turn to the left? I don't even know what am I doing? And you just feel that you are stuck. These are the group of women that this mentorship platform is open to. And this group of women, they are very dear and close to my heart because I've been there and I know what that feels like. And the truth is, a lot of people won't get you. They won't get you. They don't understand why you are not hustling. They don't understand why you are feeling the way you are feeling. They don't get it. But I do, by the grace of God. And by the grace of God, God has helped me to move out of that place of you coming out, you don't know who you are. Oh, thank you so much, Fomex. Loss of identity. You don't even understand. So what is my purpose? Some of you don't even know your personality. I was having in a class the other day, so I also talked about the emotional health practitioner certification. I'll come back and talk about it in a minute. But somebody asked the question, is it possible for your personality to change? And I was like, nope. Your personality, in fact, you from when you have a baby, from when you have a child, and the child starts to grow 6 months, 1 year, you know the personality of a child. I have young nephews and nieces. I tell their parents, this boy has some choleric in him. This one is a melancholy. In fact, my 5-year-old nephew, believe it or not, is 5-year-old, is so melancholic. If he's eating, no, oh my goodness, no grain of rice falls from his mouth. A 5-year-old, and he's not, since when he was like 2, 3, he feeds himself, and he is so meticulous in bringing the spoon to his mouth. No grain. As in, I've never seen that kind of thing before. We fall to the ground. This boy will come to my house. I will say, Big Mommy, I need to hoover. I'm talking about a 5-year-old boy. I need to clean. Where's the vacuum cleaner? He goes and gets the vacuum. This place is dirty. And he's vacuuming and cleaning everywhere. Excuse me, that's some melancholy right there. I already know his personality, his temperament from that age. But what happens to us sometimes is, as we go and journey through life happens to you. You get wounded, you experience trauma, you experience pain, you experience betrayal. And because you have to cope, your personality and your temperament changes. It's called coping mechanism. I used to think that I was flag and I was very quiet. I was really introverted and very. But after I got healed, I'm like, no, I like people. I like to go for parties. I'm an extroverted introvert. Is the extro comes first. I'm not intro. I used to think I was intro, but it was trauma that made me. I had to cope. That was coping mechanism. So for this woman, we're going to walk with you, rediscovering your identity, rediscovering your purpose. Because like I love to say, healing is a means to an end. It's not the end itself. What is the end? The end is you rising and fulfilling your purpose. Do you know your purpose? Have you discovered it? If not, that's all of the things we are going to be doing at the Flourishing 50 Mentorship Community. So if you feel that you're in that category, you can go and apply. The link is on my Instagram bio. So if you're watching from any other platform, please quickly go to my Instagram at Jola-Grace, and you will see the link in the bio, and you can apply for that. It's free, right? But application does not guarantee acceptance. So you just apply, fill out all the information that is there, and we're going to be mentoring you for 50 days. So 50 women for 50 days. Okay, so that is why we talk about healing. Healing is important because you don't want to come out of that experience, whatever has happened to you, and you are stagnated. And I know people who are stagnated in life because of the experiences they went through. Have you ever met someone who, I mean, this is just an example, he's not married and doesn't want to get married. And you ask them, what's the situation? Somebody left me by the altar. When was that? That was 45 years ago. Somebody left you at the altar 45 years ago. That means you are stuck. You are stuck. You are stuck. I will never invest again. Why? Somebody duped me. When was that? That was 22 years ago. That was dead. That was an event. See, nobody lives at an event or lives in an event. So you went for a concert. Everybody comes there. After a certain time, everybody goes home. Even the convener goes home. Nobody lives there. Nobody makes a permanent residence at an event. And what happened to you in your past is an event. It's an event. It happened. Imagine if Joseph was stuck on the fact that his brother sold him. Just imagine it. Do you know, one day I'm going to do just break down the life of Joseph when it comes to trauma. Joseph experienced childhood trauma. That trauma doesn't go further than that. The guy was out 17, 18 or so. He was a teenager. His own brothers, blood brothers, connived to kill him and then sold him off. That's deep trauma. Just imagine he got stuck there and he got to Potiphar's house. In fact, he probably would not have really been able to stay in Potiphar because he would just be there. Irritable, gloomy, sad, victim, carrying victim mentality up and down. You know what happened to me? You don't know. My father is a very rich man in our land where I came from. He doesn't even know where I am. He thinks I'm dead. My own brothers. Every time they say, I say, Josephine, you're sorry. It's well. Your brothers, your brother, my brothers, they sold me. If only my mother was still alive. Hey. It would have just stayed there. His purpose would have never been accomplished. What was his purpose? To rule, to reign, to cause there to be a difference, right, in that system that he was in Egypt. So he knew that my past is in my past. I cannot stay stagnated in my past. If you don't rise above your past, you will get into a vicious negative circle. Vicious negative circle. You just be. I preached a message on the woman we call the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4. She was repeating something. There was a pattern in her life. That's why she got to husband number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. There was a pattern. And oftentimes, we don't really see from the other side. Yeah, we might say husband number 1 was crazy, husband number 2 was mad, husband number 3 was stingy, husband number 4 was dirty. We can have something, but excuse me, sis, you are the constant in this equation. You are the common denominator in this equation. It is you. That means that there's a pattern that's being repeated in your life. That means you are stuck on something that you have refused to heal from, and so you found yourself in this vicious circle. And you can see she was leaking because Christ said, I will put in you a well of living water. Don't worry, you're coming here every day to get this thing. Let me put it in you. Let me sort you out. Let me fix you. Because your past has no role in your present and your future. So you need to heal. You need to rise above that past. Overcome the guilt. Guilt is a deadly emotion. And they are female gender. You know, I said we're incubators. So it's easy for us to go about and incubate these negative emotions. And what does it do to you? It makes you react to life. Are you living life in reaction mode? Selah. Are you living your life in reaction mode? That you are not acting on purpose, you're just reacting. So somebody invites you for an event. If I go there, what if I see somebody that reminds me of my past? They will all be looking at me. And then what happens to me? So you're bringing your past into every decision. Let me just stay at home. I don't want anybody to be questioning me or anybody. You get a job somewhere and say, oh, if I travel there, no, it has happened to me before in the past. Let me just, you're living your life in reaction mode. And one important thing that we also talked about yesterday is transferring trauma to the next gen. You don't want to do that. You don't want to transfer trauma to the next gen. You don't want to do that. You want to heal from the negative experience you went through. Because oftentimes, because we are reacting, right? You are passing aggression to people around you, and there's passive aggression. I don't think that shouting and screaming is the only kind of aggression. There is passive aggression where you ignore people, you snub people, you don't respond to people, you are not sociable, you are just on your own. And sometimes people judge people like that. They think that they are snobs or they are proud. Sometimes it's wound. It's the emotional wounding they are carrying about. They're just like, oh, let me just build. So we have what we call healthy and unhealthy boundaries. So they just build this wall like, everybody just tell you, I don't have energy. They're stuck in their past. They can't relate. They can't relate. And so you see, they pass that aggression to their children. Shout at the children. Or say, some people even punish their children for what somebody else did to them. You punish other people for the sin of somebody else. You have to rise above. I see my sister Shala. Good evening. Olubukola. Hi, Bumi. Hi, good evening. I see you all on TikTok, on Facebook. I see you on Instagram. Thank you all so much for connecting. This is Their Female Gender Day 2. And today we are talking about rising above your past. And we said the first thing, right, that you need to do is to reconcile with your past. What actually happened to you? What happened to you? What happened to you? Right? Denial is unhealthy because even though it will help you block the reality of your situation from your subconscious mind to minimize the pain of the present, it can lead you to losing control. Reaction. Hi. It can lead you to losing control. You can get used to living a life of denial because you feel that if I face the truth, it's going to be very difficult for me. But you see, you will feel that pain in the short run, but in the long run, it will be better for you. Now, about a month ago, I injured my finger, right? And, I had a very bad cut. My tendon was affected and everything. And I had to go to A&E. And when I got there, they said, oh, we have to stitch the finger. Stitch you. I was like, oh, my God. Okay, guys, don't judge me. But I was crying because I don't like pain. Like, honestly, I just, stitch my finger. And I remember the guy here, oh my God forgive him. He puts the anesthesia on the thing. Should be supposed to wait for at least maybe 5 or 10 minutes before he starts stitching. No. The minute he put it, he just put the thing and said, I screamed the whole place. And of course ran down. I was like, no, don't do it again. No, leave me. I was like, oh, madam, please just calm down. They were like, I said, okay, let's wait. So, and all of that. But you see, the pain of getting the stitches, I'm remembering the pain. It's painful. Especially if that thing has not fully settled in to numb the finger, the numbing thing. But I knew that if I didn't allow them to stitch that finger, oh my God, it's going to cause a bigger problem in the future. I don't want to be four-fingered. God created me with five beautiful fingers. At that point in time, I needed to bear that pain. Okay, do it. I needed to bear the pain so that my finger can heal and I can start to function properly. And oftentimes, the pain of accepting and reconciling with your past can be like that because we are opening up wounds. When I have clients that are going through, so there's one of my coaching packages that is soul health package, right? Soul healing package. One of the things we do, the first session, you're onboarding, second, we can still onboarding depending on. But by the time we get to the third and fourth sessions, right, I'm opening up your wound. And I will tell you, I need to open up this wound to help you. And a lot of people struggle because I've already compartmentalized this pain. I've put it in its own space. I don't want to talk. I see people visibly struggle to talk about what happened to them because you are bringing everything back and it's painful. I don't want to remember. It's happened. It's in the past. So denying, right, can seem to be helping you forget about what happened. But the truth is, it's still there. It's still there. Reconciling with your past can be a difficult task because it requires you to face the truth of the mistake you made and how negatively it has affected your life. Because sometimes it was a mistake you made, right, that caused that pain and that trauma. Misjudgment of somebody's character, maybe being hasty, or not taking time to do your due diligence before you invested in that business or before you became vulnerable with that person. I often say to people that, listen, your vulnerability is a gift. Don't be too quick to give it out. Don't be too quick to give it out. Some people have called acquaintances their friends. I don't have time to talk about different stages of relationship. Maybe we'll get there before this series ends. But somebody can be your acquaintance. They necessarily don't have to be your friend. And you don't become vulnerable with an acquaintance because you don't know them yet. You haven't taken them through the test to see if your values are aligned. That is why after you become vulnerable with them, next week you see your story headlining the news. And you're like, oh my God, I thought you were... Haste. Right? So whatever it is that happened, it's in the past. Mistakes makes us human. Staying in the past is dangerous to your future. Right? And oftentimes the emotion of guilt and shame, they hold us back from reconciling with our past. You have to tell yourself, what has happened to me has happened to me. There's nothing I can do to change it. Right? And that takes me to number two. Number two thing you need to do, I'm watching the time because I want to tell you the 4 things today because we have somewhere else to go to tomorrow. So rising from a painful past is coming out of grief, and grief is not limited to the loss of a love. I've already said that. Losing money in an investment, losing a marriage, relationship breakup, all these are instances of our past, and we need to rise from it. So number 2 thing you need to do, so you cannot change, yes, mistakes makes us human, absolutely, to me, but there's nothing we can do about it. I often ask people that, show me someone that's never made a mistake before, like maybe the person is your uncle or auntie or your best friend. They've never made a mistake before. I really want to be their friend because there must be something they know that I need to learn. But mistakes makes us human. It's okay to make a mistake. The problem is that what I normally say to people is, don't be ashamed to make decisions today that will correct the mistakes of your past. Because sometimes why we are not dealing with those mistakes and moving on is because of what will people say. Hello? What will people say? How we there? We've distributed the invitation. No, we've already called people. You already seen. You've seen signs that if you marry this person, you are going to be living in the hospital because they've been blowing you, or you are not going to be able to fulfill your purpose because they've used their words to bring you down. You've already seen the toxicity, and you're like, but we've done IV. We've done what people say. Excuse me, which people? Which people? Who can go? Which people? This is how they used to do it. Because I question status quo. Which people used to do it like that? Which people? Who? What's the measuring? What scale are we using to measure things? Which people? So listen, I often use this analogy that, okay, imagine you go into the supermarket and you park your trolley, all the things you need, your groceries, your everything, and you get to the checkout, and they say, "Oh, madam, how are you paying today? Are you paying with cash, with card, or how are you paying?" And they say, "Cashier, I want to pay with OPU. I have lots of it. Other people's opinion. They give me the app. It's plenty. Please let me pay you with some of the." Is it that two things, right? Depending on where you are, is that they will call the police, security, or they will take you to a psychiatric hospital because definitely something is wrong. Other people's opinion are worthless. What they will think about you or not think about you. And you see, oftentimes, those people that you think that are watching you, they have no idea. That's why when we're talking about thought intelligence, I talk about the stories you build up in your head. You're walking on the road, you say hi to someone and you don't respond, and you start to think, oh my goodness, she hates me, she doesn't like me. Is it because I'm not as wealthy as she? Is it because I'm not wearing the kind of hair she's wearing? And you start, and then by the time you finish, you've made yourself so sad that your day is ruined. But you don't know what that person is dealing with. They might have just lost somebody, for crying out loud. They might be dealing with something. They might just be in their own bubble trying to navigate a difficult path. And here you are thinking it's all about you. No, it's not about you. And this has happened to me so many times. People will accuse me of, you didn't say it. I'm like, you have no idea. You think? I'm just like, really? You've done something to me, so that's why I'm not calling you. I'm like, you have no idea. You better know that people are navigating different things in their lives. And like my mama used to say, because I'm carrying it doesn't mean it's not heavy. I'm carrying it with grace doesn't mean it's not heavy. So it's important for you to understand that other people's opinion is valueless. Yeah, somebody says the people are not the architect of my life. Decisions is personal. Absolutely. And if you're a person of faith, you have the Holy Spirit to guide you in your decisions. It's not what people say. It's what he says, ask you to do what you want to do. And I want to say, imagine you have 10 best friends. I don't know if anybody has 10 best friends, but imagine you have 10 best friends. And your 10 best friends, they all have 10 favorite colors. Blue, red, green, yellow, white, orange, black, navy blue, sky blue, fuchsia pink. They all have different best colors. And you're going for a party with all of them, and you're like, oh, my friends are so dear to me. I want to please all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm wearing all their favorite colors. So you have 10 different colors on you as you're going for the party. What? If I want to get those your friends that are trying to please, they'll say, sis, what's going on? Is everything okay? How can we help? They will be very concerned for you. Meanwhile, you are trying to please them. So let's go to number 2 real quick. The past has happened. I cannot do anything about it, right? But there's one thing I can do. I can learn from my past. Somebody said experience is the best teacher, and I said I beg to disagree. Experience is not the best teacher. Experience is a teacher, but it's not the best teacher. But you still need to learn from your experience. So investigate the past. Get that, binocular and begin to search. This thing that happened, this mistake that I made, how did I make it? Why did I make it? Yes, because I'm carrying it with grace doesn't mean it's heavy. Doesn't mean it's not heavy. So ask yourself, why did it happen? How did it happen? Because life is a learning curve. So that mistake that you made, right? What's a mistake? A mistake is an act of judgment that is misguided or wrong. The money you wasted, the time you wasted. I recently did some, I usually try to balance my personal account and everything. And I did, and I saw some money that I spent. I'm like, I didn't know this thing. I felt bad for a couple of it, but I'm like, I've learned. Can you still hear me, guys? Can you hear me? On Instagram, can you hear me? Instagram, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. So the money you wasted, the time you wasted, the friends that hurt you, the friends that you hurt, because it's not always about other people. Sometimes you can also hurt people, right? So the friends that you hurt, Instagram, can you hear me? Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Instagram. A call was trying to comment, so I suspect. Instagram, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. So the friendships that you lost, the love that you lost, the opportunities that you missed. Sometimes we can hold ourselves. You can't. Can you hear me now? Toby, can you hear me? Instagram, can you hear me? Sound is gone. Okay. Sorry, bear with me, guys. Yes, ma. Can you now hear me? Can you now hear me? So if you can hear me, please write, I can hear you. Please write, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. It's back now. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. You know what happens when calls try to come in. So we're talking about investigating the past. And this book, so I'm also actually speaking from my book. If you don't have it, you can always get it. And in the book, I shared a personal story. And I said, a few years ago, I had a major life-changing situation where I was investigating the painful past, right? While I was investigating that painful past, I realized I made the mistake that brought the past because I did not take time to know who the person I was relating with is. Thank you, guys. I only knew what the person represented. That's WHAT. There's a huge difference between who, WHO, and what, WHAT, someone is. What is temporal, right? What has to do with external characteristics, your achievement, your charisma, your profession, your positions, and your office. While on the other hand, your who has to do with the being of the individual, the character of the person, the identity of the person. Right? The personality, what is related to doings, what people are doing. Hey, you are doing well. If you realize that the story of Jesus, there was a time he turned 5 loaves, used 5 loaves to feed and 2 fishes to feed 5,000 and, did miracles and all of that. And shortly after that, the disciples came to him because they had, he went on hibernation. He went to, solitary place. Say, oh, Jesus, everyone is looking for you. And I was like, you guys are not looking for me. You're looking for me for what you can get from me. I was having a conversation with someone about transactional relationship earlier today. You're looking for me for what you can get from me, not because you really want me, the core of who I am. And it's not by doings. I don't want you to have a relationship with me because of the things I do. I want you to have a relationship with me because of me. When Brodnicki, and you call it Brodnicki came to Jesus in the night and said, Jesus, Jesus. He said, how can a man do so many things, so mighty miracles? So he was looking at the doings of Jesus. Jesus must have smiled and said, Nikki. Okay. Except a man be. It talked about the being, the who of a man. So it's like, forget about the doings. Focus on the being. So you see, if you don't rise above your past, it's going to keep affecting your who you are. Because some people display negative behavior because of their painful traumatic experience. You become who you don't like. You look at you and are like, who is this person? Always angry, very irritable, very nasty. And you know deep down in your core, this is not who I want to be. This is not who I'm supposed to be. But the trauma that you've lived with for so long has made you who you are not supposed to be. So focus on the who. Right? So reading on. So talked about that, investigate. So sometimes in investigating your past, you also need to check if you had people in your life who are interested in you because of your what. So on the other flip side as well, so people will want to be relating with you because of what you represent. You need to be careful because those people are not there. The Bible says Jesus Christ did not give himself to all men, for he knew what is in their heart. He knew some of them are with him because of what they can get from him, for who he is. Right? So these people don't actually care about your who, your person, or your being. Right? They're just interested in your position. You need to ask yourself. And you see, while I was investigating my own personal past, right, I actually was at a place where my what, WHT, was gone. Everything I represented as my what, that I could say, okay, this is my what, pastor, mommy, first lady, all of that, CEO, it was gone. There was nothing. So there was confusion. So was left? What was it going to be now? And that led me to investigate my past. And I realized that I have to find my who. Because all of those things are not my who. The title is not my who. My name, someone said, my name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel. My name is not Coach Jola-Grace or Dr. Jola-Grace. No, that's not my name. My name is, my name, I'm sounding like the primary school dude that wants to do debates. Good morning, daddies and mommies. Good morning. My name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel. So, who are you? Who are you? And I said jokingly, if you ever had have a conversation with people from where I come from, sometimes there's an altercation and they will say, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I'm like, okay, do you know who you are? I don't know who you are, but do you actually know who you are? Right? And that happens when you start to investigate your past. What did I do wrong? Was I too hasty? Was I too fast? Did I make decisions in isolation? The Bible says, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Proverbs 11:14. Sometimes you just want to make the decision by yourself. Right? And sometimes it's because you know that what those people will tell you is not what you want to hear. So your mind, we women, they're female gender, right? We have what is called intuition. You better know as a woman how to fine-tune your intuition is a powerful tool. Because good evening, Bash, when God was going to create you, he created you based on a need. He created the male gender. And he said the male gender was alone. It's not good for man to be alone. I'm not even going to go to male man, but it's not good for man to be alone. Let me create a helpmate for him. That helpmate, right? The same Hebrew word that was used there is the same helpmate that was used to describe the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit nudges us. So there's an intuition, there's a gift, it's called the sixth sense that you have as a woman, their female gender. You have it. You might have died, you might have been some issues with this, maybe because you've not used it for a while or it's been disregarded or something, but it's in you. And healing, rising above your past, brings it out, right? Some of the things that you can also, when you are investigating, I've just run through this. Like I said, everything is in my book, Rise Above Your Past. So in investigating your past, you might realize that you made some relationship mistakes that caused the wound in your soul. So let's quickly go through. Thank you, Bash. It's getting better. It's getting better. I still have to put it in the splint for a while, but it's healing, and so it's just the physio, a little bit of physio, and it has to be here for a while. But yeah, thank you so much. So oftentimes, when you're investigating your past, you realize that there's some relationship mistakes that happened. Okay. And quickly, I'll talk about them. Irrational expectations, right? Maybe your expectation from the people you are relating with wasn't valid, right? Number two, poor communication. They said there are three most important things in every relationship. Number one, communication. Number two, communication. Number three, communication. So lack of communication hinders the growth of relationships and has the potential to cause friction, frustration, and hurt. Good evening, great coach. Hi. Good to see you all. Naomi, good evening. Awesome. So the meaning of your communication is the response you get, right? Sometimes assuming that people know how you are feeling because you are afraid of what the response will be if you communicate your true feelings is a magnet to hurt and pain. Their female gender, we assume a lot. Their female gender, sometimes we don't know how to properly communicate, especially with our partners. So the guy has done something that you don't like, or his actions made you feel a certain way, and I say, babe, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. 3 hours later, you are still what's the word? You are still sulking. Say, babe, are you sure you're okay? I'm fine now. I'm fine. You even said I'm fine with it. I'm fine now. But in communication, it's not just a word, there's also tone when we talk about communication. After we say, I'm fine now. And the guy is like, kill. And then later in the evening, you're like, I can't even believe it. You know that I was not fine all day, and you couldn't do anything about it. But I asked you if you are fine. You said you are fine, and you don't know that I'm not fine. You should know that I'm not fine. You should know. Excuse me, how is he supposed to know when you did not tell him? It's not the Holy Spirit. You cannot read your mind. So, dear female gender, we assume a lot. Stop assuming and communicate. Use your words. It's okay. Use your words. Learn communication. Let me just drop this one tip about communicating. Because sometimes we communicate wrongly, and the reactions we get from our communications stop us from communicating in the future. Right? So maybe you want to express how somebody's action made you feel, and because you've expressed once, twice, thrice, and you didn't get a positive response, you're just like, let me not say anything. Let me just keep quiet. Let me just keep quiet. Let me just keep quiet. Right? But one of the ways, and I often teach this to my one-on-one clients, so I'll say, you see, this thing that you want to communicate with your husband is valid, right? The way you're feeling is valid. But how and when you have this conversation is critical to the response you get. So this is just a random example, right? You wake up in the morning and you feel all stressed of getting the children ready for school, right? And you expect your hubby to come and help you. And he's in the room. He hasn't come to help you. We don't know why yet. But you're just down there and you are getting agitated. Can't you see that I'm stressing? Can't you see that I'm struggling? All in your mind. And so you're upset, you go to work, you don't talk to him. He's calling you, babe, are you okay? You don't answer. I said, tell you that you don't answer. You're just angry. Now you come back in the evening Both of you come back, and he's so tired. You're so tired. It's been a long day. You even said, my boss, can it happen at work today? And immediately he enters the house. And I can hear, honestly, I'm tired of this thing. You think, what? I'm not your slave. I woke up this morning. I was going to, and then you are like, okay. You never support me. You're so selfish. You are so this. Excuse me, you will never get a positive response from that kind of conversation, even though your points are valid. You wouldn't. This is communication 101. Your points are valid, but the timing and the tone, wrong. So what can I do instead? Come back from work. Yes, my feelings are valid and everything. Whatever it is, he eats, he relaxes. Maybe you guys are in bed or something. And then you can just gently bring it up and like, babe, the fact that you didn't help me this morning made me feel stranded or made me feel helpless. It made me feel unlovable because your feelings are yours and they are valid. So how did he feel? How did him not coming to help you, how did it make you feel? That's what you want to communicate, because nobody likes to be attacked. Immediately they will put up a defense. So you say, you never help me. You're always selfish. You are so selfish. You're always on your own. Never, because nobody never anything, and nobody always anything. He never helps you. But yesterday he helped you to bring the bags of groceries from the car. Last week he actually went to the market for you, and you're saying he never helped you because he didn't help you this morning? Oh, come off it. Remember, your feelings are valid. I'm trying to help you create a balance here. So, honey, this morning I was really struggling. I have a bad finger, and it was quite a struggle for me to get the kids ready and, get everybody to school. But I expected that you would come and help me. But the fact that you didn't come to help me actually made me feel helpless, unloved, unseen. You're telling him how what happened made you feel. Because listen, he's your husband. He loves you. He wouldn't want you to feel like that. So his actions might have passed across negative feelings to you unintentionally. And if you communicate like that, you're not attacking this person. They can say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean, even though you didn't ask, but sometimes you don't have to ask, right? You expect that you should see, and because that is what forms relationships. Foreseeing other people's needs and meeting it even before they ask you. That is one of the signs of healthy and good relationship. They don't always have to ask. Yes, absolutely, Bashir. Your actions made me feel like this. That might not be their intention. In fact, you might not know that it was on his laptop that morning because he had submitted a proposal yesterday. He woke up this morning, he saw that his line manager had said, no, you have to make this correction. And he had to present at 8 a.m. So he was there trying to quickly make the corrections before and it was just probably, and you didn't know that. So if you don't have a proper communication, that can be the beginning of something massive that might destroy that relationship. Communication. So I don't want to, I said I just want to give you one tip. Oh, there's a lot, and time has gone. Okay, so let's just move. So one of the other things, like everything is inside my book, like I said, Rise Above Your Past, available on Amazon. So number 2, poor communication. Number 3, displays vulnerability. I talked about vulnerability earlier on. Vulnerability is your gift. Don't just give it to people anyhow. Lack of capacity assessment. Now, let me quickly read this. Romans 12:3-8 says, for by the grace given to me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, right? But rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. He goes on to say, and it talks about different gifts, meaning that we all have different capacities. Sometimes we don't. So imagine me saying to my 5-year-old niece, very handsome, beautiful boy. I mean, we love each other so much. And I said to her, I say, baby, please take the car keys and go to Tesco's and get me some groceries. I want to make breakfast. You love me, don't you? Yes, I do. I do, big mommy. Go take the car. Go to Tesco's. Just drive down. It's not far, and get me some groceries. If he says to me, "Oh, but big mommy, I can't really do that," and I start to get upset, what do you mean you can't do that? I don't for you. Sometimes we do that, and we women we blackmail our children emotionally. I carried you my womb for 9 months. I backed you. I say emotional. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. And these children, especially as they are growing up, they're like, "Mommy, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that." And they are wise. So imagine you start to go off. Like, you don't even love me. If you love me, no, but listen, right? I'm 5 years old. I cannot drive. I can't drive. When I'm 23, I can drive. When I'm 20, I can. But right now, I cannot drive. I don't have the capacity to meet the need you are asking me. And sometimes this is what happens in relationships. You've not assessed somebody's capacity, and you're expecting them to deliver on a level that they don't have. They are not bad. They just can't do it. And for me, it helps me to know people. I just like, okay, I check your capacity. Are you able to do this? Are you able to do that? And it took time for me to get there. And I realized that, this man that I'm expecting to buy gifts for me, they just don't have the capacity. They can't do it. They don't know how to do it. And so you leave it. So capacity assessment is so important. Then personal imperfection. Also remember that nobody is perfect. You are not perfect. So don't expect somebody to always be something all of the time. No, nobody is perfect. Even people that you employ that are working for you, they're not perfect. Sometimes they'll make mistakes. It's okay, right? Number 6, lack of boundaries. Another common relationship mistake is lack of boundaries. When you don't have boundaries, right? And then whatever. Okay, so let me just read the. Allowing people to invalidate your feeling is a lack of emotional boundary. Okay, I think I should read these boundaries. Boundaries is another common relationship mistake. When you don't have healthy boundaries, people will walk all over you and hurt you over and over again. No. Lack of boundary can mean inability to say no. Imagine living in a house that doesn't have windows and doors, even though the space to install the windows and doors have been carved out. The house will be porous, exposed and unsafe. Anybody can just walk into the house. Birds and other reptiles will come in at will. Rain will fall and drench the house and all of that, right? So allowing people to invalidate your feeling is also lack of emotional boundaries. Healthy boundaries is both physical and emotional. Physical boundaries involve what you are comfortable with regarding personal space, right? And it's okay if you're not a hug person, right? You're not a huggy person. Now somebody wants to always hug you. It's okay to say, I actually don't like hugs like that. It's okay to create personal boundary. Some people, because of their personality, they like to touch you when they're talking to you. You see, if you're not okay, just tell them, like, do you mind? Personal space. Oof. Don't even get me started. There are some places you go to and they don't understand what personal space is. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry. You can already tell that is personal space, please. It's a boundary. Right? So it's okay to communicate, right, your boundaries to people. Okay. Now, whatever you discover, so we're talking about investigation. I won't be able to go through the 4 today, so we'll pick up the remaining 2 tomorrow, right? Whatever you have discovered in your investigation is not to condemn you, but to help you rise above that painful past. So you're saying, how do I rise above my past? Death, evil, gender. If you don't rise above your past, you cannot step into purpose. You'll be stagnated in life. You'll be reactive. You'll be going round and round in a vicious circle. And I said, the number 1 thing is to reconcile with that past. It happened. Accept it. Number 2 is to investigate it. And we're saying that whatever you have discovered in your investigation, right, is not to condemn you. One of my other books is Regret Trap. Right? Because sometimes we are also trapped in regret. If only. What if only, what if you wake up in the morning, you're like, look at my life, if only. And they keep saying, na condition, na condition with burn crayfish, if only, what if? You don't be trapped. Get out of that regret trap. Right? So this is not what investigation is about. Once you have investigated and elicited the how, the why, and the what, the first thing you need to do is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for making that mistake. Tell yourself, mistakes makes us human. I'm a human being. That's why I made this mistake. It's okay. I forgive myself. Some of you need to forgive yourself tonight. You need to get your pad out and write and say, Dear Jola, I forgive you. I forgive you for X, Y, Z. You didn't know better. Forgive yourself. Because listen, women, we keep a lot inside. And honestly, like I said, there's a lot of physical, and on one of the sessions, we're going to look at physical diseases that women experience, because this is International Women's Month, not just day, and we're looking at all of these things to help you become a better version of yourself. Forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself for trusting the person you shouldn't have trusted. You need to forgive yourself for enlarging the person's what over their who. You need to forgive yourself for ignoring the red flags. Very important. And I saw you though. Why did I not do this? Why did I go? Forgive yourself. It's in the past. You need to forgive yourself and accept that you made a mistake. It was a mistake and it is in your past. It was a mistake is in your past. You can rise above it. Listen, mistakes makes us human. Your mistake doesn't define you. You are not your mistake. You are phenomenal. You are special. You are valuable. You are intelligent. You are wise. You are charming. You are lovely. You are a masterpiece. You are who God says you are. Type in the comment section, I am not my mistake. I am not my mistake. Type in the comment section, I am not my mistake. 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 My mistake is in my past. I need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You are not your mistake. Right. Ooh, is that the time? Okay. So Fumex says, how can someone forget the hurt in marriage, especially when it has a stigma? I'm not sure I totally understand that. So are you still in the marriage? Are you out of the marriage? What kind of, okay, you might not want to say the depth of the hurt. I mean, maybe some of the things that I've said tonight can help you. So let's say your partner did something that was really hurtful. I don't know, maybe went out of the marriage and cheated on you or something like that. And it's really, really, really painful, right? So first, there's a way that you can blame yourself for the mistake of other people or for the sin of other people. And say, maybe if I had given him more sex, maybe if I had cooked the better food, maybe if I had done this, and you start to blame yourself. First, you need to stop that. You are not responsible for other people's actions. That's good. You are not responsible for other people's actions. It's because of what they did. That's why I did this. No, you are not. Why? Because everybody has what we call the power of choice. You choose your reaction to what other people are doing or are not doing. I said this yesterday. You have no control over other people's actions or inactions. You only have control over their actions and their reactions to their actions. So let's even say, and this is I'm just making an assumption here, right? Trying to answer it vaguely. If you want to tell me more, you can send me a message from X. You can send a DM or send a WhatsApp message so that we can unpack it very well. But I'm just answering in general terms. So let's even assume that as a lady, right, in that home, maybe you weren't giving your husband sex. Let's just assume, right? It's as an assumption. This is not what is going on. Not what is going on. And the man goes out and starts having a side chick. And when you found that, you are like, oh my God, it's my fault. It's my fault. I was not giving him sex. Oh my God, I should give him more sex. So, yes, you should give your husband sex, right? And your husband should be able to have sex with you when he wants. However, the fact that he's not getting it, he now has different options of how to react to that. Yeah. Going out and having a side chick is one option. Is one option. Another option could be, maybe I could speak to somebody that has a spiritual oversight over us. Maybe could this be, I can even speak to you. Why? What is going on? Is there anything I can help with? Because sometimes for women, it's hormones. And you might not even know it. It's hormones, like you just don't feel like. You can have different options. So the fact that he's gone out to do that, that's why you cannot blame yourself, because it could have chosen. It's just like somebody, you did something. And I usually say this, right? Somebody comes to say they are being abused. Never, I'm shouting it, I'm sorry, it's because I'm passionate. Never ask them, so what did you do? Don't do it, because you also become an enabler. Somebody says, they come and say, this person has been abusing me. So, you say, what did you do? Don't do it. I'm sorry. I'm passionate about this. Because there is nothing anybody can do to deserve to be abused. Nothing. Think about your own child. You have a child. And somebody is beating your child or abusing your child. Are you going to ask your child, what did you do? You are first of all going to want to keep and protect your child. Because beating that person is one of the options they have to respond to in court, whatever it is they have done. You can take a walk. You can call somebody and report them to the person. You can go and sleep. You can watch. There are so many options. So you chose. Now, let's go to the court of law for a minute. We want to understand how things work in court. You get to court and they say, oh, my lord, this person beat up his neighbor and the neighbor died. And then the defense prosecutor, the defense counsel, excuse me, lawyers, forgive my ignorance. The defense counsel comes and say, well, my lord, yes, my who is the person? The person I'm representing, can say I'm not a lady. Yes, he did kill his neighbor, but the neighbor deserved it, right? The neighbor always annoys him. Every day he wakes up, the neighbor will park in front of his house, the neighbor will put things in front of his house, and he has warned his neighbor, don't do this one. So it made my clients really upset. So this day he just had to stab him to just end everything because he will not listen. Please, what is that judge going to do? Is the judge going to say, defense counsel, it's true. The disease made your neighbor very angry. Well, the disease is a very irritable person. Well, why would they be behaving like that? They deserve it. Will the judge say that? Somebody says never. No. Because the law is the law. According to section of 45, subsection, something. What does it say? If somebody kills another, somebody say life imprisonment, they've already judged yourself. It doesn't matter why or what that person did is irrelevant. How you chose to respond to what they did is the kokoma that we're talking about. Apologies for my vernacular. It is the real deal. You're responsible for your actions. You are responsible. If that's the only thing you take away from tonight's their female gender session, you tell yourself, in fact, write yourself a note, put it on your mirror. Tell yourself, Jola-Grace, you are responsible for your actions. Do you know what the Bible says? Thou art an inexcusable woman. So when we get to heaven, for those of us who are people of faith, and we are going through judgment, you're going to say, it's because of this person. That's why I did. It's because of that. That's why I did. It's because of this. No, it's because of. What did you do with the assignment I gave you? What did you do with the task I gave you? There's no, it's because of this. That's why I did. You are responsible for your actions. Which is why you need to heal. Because if you don't heal, you start to live in a reactive zone. So whatever it is that has happened from X, you might need to go through some sessions to heal. Because you can only control you. You can't control the other person. To heal, right? Deal with whatever negative emotions that you are dealing with. Exhale on burden. And then create a strategy to move on and navigate things better in that relationship. Right? So healing, like I said, is not the end, is a means to an end. And yesterday we also talked about opening up 10 slots, right? They're already filling, right? Giving 50% discount off for women who have been through any kind of trauma and you feel stuck. You feel you are not moving forward. You feel there is more to your life that you are not experiencing. Or maybe you just really want to discover your purpose, want to find purpose. Yes, you can now sign up with myself as your one-on-one coach, right, for a 50% discount off. And that is only in this month of June. So, we're March, this month of March. Okay, so between now and the 22nd, so this series continues up every day up until the 22nd. So within that period, that is where this 50%, that is a lot. But yes, I'm happy to give so that you can gain your health, you can gain purpose, you can gain clarity, you can gain peace, you can gain sleep. Some people struggle to sleep. You have insomnia. And that insomnia, you are taking medication and it's not working. It's because of what is going on your inside. I said yesterday that research has shown that between 75 and 90% of the physical diseases that we experience is as a result of trapped negative emotions. So you see what is within your control is giving yourself the gift of healing. The gift of healing. And you have the opportunity now. Don't let anything stop you. I don't have money. I don't have money. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. What do you think is the most important thing in your being? Your mind. If anything goes wrong with your mind, it affects other areas of your life. And carrying that hurts, right? The more you carry it, the more it worsens the state of your mind and your emotions and your soul. And the fact that you are not confronting it doesn't mean it's going to go away. I often get people come and say, oh, I want to sign up for one-on-one. And then we start to talk about price and then they disappear. And then they come back a year later and they're like, oh, I wish I started last year. Things have gone worse. Because it always gets worse. I'm not trying to scare you, but it's a fact. It's just like you having a physical wound, right? If you don't treat it, if I didn't treat this injury, it would have just been worse. It would have gotten worse. You have to treat it. Ignoring a wound doesn't mean the wound is not there. And I made this analogy yesterday that imagine I spilled something on the floor while cooking and I got so upset I just leave my kitchen and I go upstairs or something. And I go and watch a movie, even if I let me go and sleep. When I wake up the next day, that mess is still there waiting for me. It's not going to go away. So healing is your responsibility. And you have this opportunity now to get it for 50% discount. So what do you need to do to take advantage of that? Again, if you're watching on different platforms that's not on Instagram, apologies for that. Please go to my Instagram bio. There's a WhatsApp link in my Instagram bio. Use that to chat with me and say, I am ready to heal. I am ready to rise above my past. I am ready. I would like to take advantage of the 50% discount, and then we can take it up from there. For those of you who feel a need to purpose, you feel called, you feel that your purpose is to help people to heal, you also want to become a soul doctor, we have an opportunity for you through this certification in emotional health practice. All our courses at Jola-Grace Academy are accredited by the Mars Leadership University. So we have a course that is running. We're about to finish. It's been a phenomenal time in that course, and we're about to start another course next month, right? So I believe currently there's a 40% discount. It will be ending soon, sometime soon, right? On the certification, so you can become an emotional health coach and help other people as well, to heal from whatever trauma they might have experienced. It's an opportunity for you to also earn as you fulfill your purpose. And the best thing you can do in life, you're finding your ikigai, is to do what you love doing and also make money from it. So if you feel connected, you feel you're passionate about helping people manage their emotions, this is the certification for you. It's virtual, but it's life taught. So you will be in class every week. You have assignments every week, and the current cohorts are writing their thesis at the moment. So we are not playing. You work for it. So you write your thesis, you have to defend it, and then you have practical sessions that are supervised and monitored. And at the end of the day, you get a certificate, right, with Mars Leadership University logo on it and Jola-Grace Academy logo on it. And then there you go. And if you're an HR personnel, you're a coach, or you're a pastor, whatever, you just need to understand people's emotion. Right, the certification in emotional health practice is your go-to, right? Because one of the things that I said earlier on at the beginning of this year that is my golden year. So my mind is impact, legacy, and this is one of the avenues that God has given to me, which I'm so grateful for, to pour myself out into people. We had a facilitation exercise the other day, and one of the participants, when it came to her turn. She might be here. I don't know, Rebecca, are you still here? They came to her turn, and a lot of them, honestly, I drilled them. If you're not ready to be drilled, please don't sign up. I drilled them, and some of them were like, "Oh, I've never spoken in my life. I don't know how to talk. I don't know." I'm like, "Don't worry, you can do it. You can do it. You're unstoppable." Encourage each other. And this wonderful woman of God came into class, and they all had to do slides. And she started her presentation. And I thought I was listening to myself. I'm like, okay, girl, keep going. Okay, I was like, okay. For a minute, I thought I was hearing me right there because she was sounding so much like me. And other people in the class were like, yes, actually. Yeah. And I was like, this is a proud moment, right? Because it's fulfilling that God is helping me to reproduce myself in other people. That's just super, super fulfilling. And so this is what this platform has opened up for us to do. Go to my website if you want to sign up for that, www.coachjolagrace.com. All of the information of the academy and the courses are there. So let's peg it here tonight. Let's peg it here tonight. It's really been a wonderful, wonderful time hanging out with you again. Oh, bless you for me. I'm so glad that you feel light. I'm so glad that you feel light. So I'll be back again tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Nigeria time. And I think it's 1 p.m. EST for day 3 of their female gender in celebration of International Women's Day. God bless you all. I'm the Soul Doctor. My name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel. And like I love to say, I am committed to helping you heal, thrive, and grow. Have a good evening. God bless you. Bye.